तो आपके लिए राम राज्य है क्या? Like what does, let's first understand before we say is Ram Rajya the ideal thing, what is Ram Rajya? How should a person who's not written mythology books or who's not an expert in the subject, how do they understand it?
Okay, so pop quiz for all of you. How many of you have actually read any of the versions of the Ramayana? Outside of in the television series. Anyone
NCRT,
has,
NCRT.
NCRT. Okay, that's a summary. In which one have you read? Valmiki Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, Kamba Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas? In any of the versions that you've read, has Ram Rajya been described in detail? Yeah? Anyone? Isn't that kind of interesting? Okay? It's one of the things I noticed.
So the people on TV
actually,
cannot see
for people on TV didn't see it. Most of them said no.
Okay.
It's actually not been described in detail. Most of the Ramayana versions that are written, from the original Valmiki Ramayana to the Ramcharitmanas, Kamba Ramayana, actually chronicles the journey of Lord Ram. Ramayana, the word itself means the journey of Ram, right? And it's kind of intriguing because, and of course, you find differences. Like Lakshman Rekha is not there in the original Valmiki Ramayana, for example. But the Ram Rajya itself is actually not discussed in so much detail, right? It's discussed in other texts, like the Yog Vashisht, for example, which is a pure philosophical text. And I found this interesting because much of the discussions of the Ram Rajya actually happen in other texts. I think the Ramayana actually tells us what creates the kind of leader who can build a Ram Rajya, right? A leader who goes through personal suffering but still reacts to it in a positive way. Ravan went through personal suffering and his reaction was, the world hurt me, I will freaking burn the world down, right? Whereas Lord Ram's reaction was, the world hurt me, but I will still behave with nobility. I will give to the world what the world didn't give to me. I will give nobility, I'll give honor, I'll give grace, even if the world didn't behave with me that way. That leads to the kind of leader, right? I have a theory that maybe there are various different versions of the Ram Rajya because we are supposed to make up our own interpretation of what Ram Rajya should be. And there are various texts which explore this, right?
What is it for you?
For me, there's this lovely Sanskrit line which I put actually in one of my books. Rama Rajya Vasi Tvam Prochra Yasvat. I'll translate, don't worry.
Please.
Prochra Yasvat Teshiram Nyayartham Yudhyasva Sarveshu Samam Chara Paripalay Durbalam Viddhi Dharmam Varam Prochra Yasvat Teshiram Rama Rajya Vasi Tvam. What translates as, you live in the kingdom of Ram, hold your head high. Protect the weak, know that dharma is above all, fight for justice, treat all as equal. Hold your head high, you live in the kingdom of Ram. To me, this encapsulates a beautiful way of looking at what Ram Rajya should be. Treat all as equal, fight for justice, protect the weak, know that dharma is not religion. Dharma is beyond religion, right? Dharma is what's the right way to be. These are the philosophical discussions that our ancestors had. Many kings used to claim to be following the path of Ram. So the Vijayanagar emperors or the Cholas or many others would say that the Mauryas, the Guptas, they would speak of Ram Rajya as a concept. They would speak of what his principles would be. So it was actually symbolic in a way.
So it's concept. It's not literal. There is a king and a kingdom and a monarchy. It's not like that. When we say...
And if you're asking...
Because we say Ram Ram, when we say Ram Ram, it means, are you well? Like it's a sign of good. So because that word is also used to describe something good. So good times, Ram Rajya, Acha Rajya ho raha.
It's what a ideal society, an ideal state should be. And our ancestors never said that this is the only way. If you don't follow this, you'll burn in hell for eternity. No. Every age has its own conception of what ideal should be. And every person has their own conception of what the ideal should be, right? And we have the freedom to discover that.
Right.